All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for. Okay, okay. Yeah, if everything's okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah, and I think they can
uh,
hear us now.
okay. So they can hear us now. All right. They can hear us now. So sorry about the
Yep.
technical difficulties, guys. But yeah, actually, um, yeah. Okay, I got startled for a bit. I got
Yeah,
startled
yeah,
for a bit. So sorry about that. So sorry if you can't hear us for a minute there. But
yeah.
thanks for letting
There's
us know that there's no audio, so that we made the necessary technical adjustments for that. And yeah, actually, we do want to talk about what's happening currently in War of Imperium, and what we are expecting. So make sure you hide your screen first before.
yeah, don't
Okay.
worry.
So yeah, if you are tuning in the stream right now, so hello to you all, and I want to invite you all to like and follow our page, our Ragnarok Online GGH. If you could share the stream and join the ROGGH Discord for up to date and immediate all called immediate notifications about the patch notes, upcoming events. You can also talk to the community if you join the ROGGH Discord. So while MG is relogging in or logging in right now, I want to talk about for our viewers are out there who aren't familiar with War of Imperium. War of Imperium is a game feature that allows guilds to fight each other in order to conquer a castle for their guild to get benefits and special advantages. Castles captured by guilds participating in War of Imperium spawn treasure chests each day. The boxes spawn in a special room only accessible by the guild leader through the castle NPC.
Mm-hmm.
Each castle have their own special rewards such as Emblem of the Sun God in Scarlet Palace, Snow Crystal in Kremhild, Wrath of Valkyrie in Referion, which players can use to craft quest headgears and or god items. There
Mm-hmm.
are 4 castle locations: Frontera Valkyrie Realm, Payon Baldur Greenwood Lake Realm, Geffen Britonia Realm, and Aldebaran Luwina Realm. Each realm has 5 castles each, for a total of 20
Yes.
castles in War of Imperium. But as we can see right now, though, here on our screen, Last Nightmare wants to invade the castle of Dominari. And yeah, like what we said when the audio was kind of muted for a minute here. Yeah, we saw a little bit of Last
Nightmare.
Nightmare
Yes.
just lurking inside this castle. So I think right now they are prepared and ready to take on Dominari. But of course, Arsenal is in their back, so they need to be careful in pushing in because they can get squished, they can get sandwiched
Mm-hmm.
by two opposing guilds. So right now, of course, Last Nightmare is doing their utmost best to try and take down Arsenal first. They want to push in. As you can see, skills are getting casted against Arsenal right here. But Mandragora Howling, I think, landed on Last
Yep.
Nightmare. But I think it failed for a bit there. And I think what if Last Nightmare is going to battle Dominari, what Last Nightmare needs to look out for is that mechanic that
Yes.
Dominari is, perfectly utilizing every time. So if they actually perfectly counter that mechanic strategy coming from Dominari, I think they have a good chance of, taking them down every time. But always that mechanic is, lurking somewhere and then just bouncing in their stack, then using that suicidal destruction and wiping everyone out.
Yes, and I think today's session is gonna be interesting. I think Last Nightmare is prepared to take Dominari, and right now I think they have the same numbers currently. And with this kind of setup or momentum that Last Nightmare has, they made a quick early RG today. So it means that they have the supplies, they have the numbers to take down Dominari for 2 hours. So it's a matter of time that that clash will be happening on this session. So currently, Last Nightmare is trying to regroup. They're trying to wait for their members. That's what I'm assuming here. And they're trying to take off those Dominari players who's trying to flank at the back lane. And currently, most of the Dominari is, I think they're just protecting. And we have some flankers as well. I think they're just trying to reduce the numbers of Last Nightmare before they hit the main ball of Dominari.
Yeah, and then the Last Nightmare is not complete as of now since most of them tried to battle out with Arsenal earlier. And again, Last Nightmare needs to be careful because, we all know Dominari has around 3 guilds currently. They have that red one, which is mostly their main powerful force, attacker, maybe their main guild. Then they have the purple one. Then the pink one, which only has a few members, but they're kind of joining with the purple Dominari
Yes.
guild. So yeah, Last Nightmare needs to be careful of Dominari because since they have a lot of players and Arsenal is just lurking behind them, waiting for the opportunity to strike. So
Yes.
they need to be a little bit careful into attacking this castle, and it will be pretty difficult. And
Yes.
yeah, again, guys, thank you for letting us know that there is no audio.
Yeah, I really appreciate
Again,
that.
sorry for the technical difficulties, but thanks for letting us know. And again, if you do want to shout out your friends, if you do want to talk to us in the stream, you can chat in our comment section. And maybe if you want to shout out your guild, your friends, your boyfriends, your pets, your girlfriends playing in Ragnarok online GGH. Yeah, maybe they're letting their dog play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe just for content. I'm not sure. Maybe their cat is just lurking around.
Okay.
Pressing everything in their keyboard. Since I think most cats do that. Just resting above or just resting above that keyboard and pressing anything. And yeah, comment from Rob. Good luck to Last Nightmare, War of Emperium. Let's go. All right. Since I think Last Nightmare is preparing to push right now, I do want to scout out other castles as
Yep.
well because we haven't seen the other guilds participate in the battle between these 2 guilds or sometimes 3 guilds because Arsenal sometimes is there.
Yep.
They don't want to squeeze in the battle. But again, Dominari has a nice hold there in that third portal here in Kremhild Castle. And it's what happened there?
I think some of them are ported out.
Maybe they pushed out or
Or let's check.
yeah, maybe they want to go to a different castle. I'm not really sure what happened there. But
Or
maybe
they moved
some of them
the entrance, maybe?
Mhm.
Yeah, they moved outside.
Oh, maybe because some of their members can get win.
Yeah.
Because Dominary players are just lurking, making sure nobody gets there, and they regroups with the whole stack of Last Nightmare. But of course, Last Nightmare again will have a difficult time engaging this castle since you all know that how Dominary plays. They've
Yep.
been dominating War of Emperium since the very start. Although Last Nightmare, they can deal with the red Dominari toe to toe, but if purple Dominari or pink Dominari comes into play, it will be pretty difficult for Last Nightmare to go
Yeah.
against Dominari.
Yes, I think Last Nightmares, they have they can actually take down the red Dominari with if they have the proper setup, just like a month ago maybe. Because last time they had a perfect lineup. We had a quick guild versus guild red Dominari in Last Nightmare before, and Last Nightmare did a pretty good versus the red Dominari, but it's just it's just Dominari on the other side. They have this mechanic suicidal destruction from time to time. They have multiple strats, so they have the Dragon Spread, they have the Art Storms, they have the suicidal destruction. So I think their strategy is pretty mixed up, and sometimes it's really hard to guess, or it's really hard to protect certain area. Like if you're gonna put a land protector or a Numa. So I think Red Dominari has a pretty jam-packed lineup, and I hope Last Nightmare can get those numbers back again for this matchup versus Dominari.
Yeah, but like what I said earlier, Dominari is trying to utilize that mechanic into their lineup. And what Last Nightmare is doing is, they're using mostly Suras to go in for support. Of course, that Curse Circle will play a huge role for disabling a lot of the opposing guild's members. And of course, we have some comments here in the comment section. Hello, Boss MG and James. Hello, Michelle. When are you streaming GS leveling? Okay. Okay. We actually talked about this briefly earlier before our stream went live. We're still deciding on when we can do that though. But yeah, we are preparing for that. just wait for us to announce it. We'll be sharing it in Discord. And
Yeah.
maybe if you want to join us guys in the leveling, that will be fine. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, this stream has a delay of around 2 minutes, so we
Yeah.
can't read your comments immediately. So, and of course, that delay is meant for, um, you know, how can I say this? For stream sniping, just
Mm-hmm.
preventing stream sniping. Okay. And yeah, Dominar is taking a hold of this Kremlin castle. Earlier, they were in the third portal, but they pushed back here in the entrance. I'm not sure if Last Nightmare is going to try and deal with Dominari holding this castle, though, at this time. Maybe they might move to a different castle. We can see some of the other guilds, though, participating and capturing other castles like Seraphim and the chat, like Fratres capturing
Mm-hmm.
castles as well. Nonsense. And if you can move here to Hohenschwangdo, actually there are a few battles here and there. Nemesis Armada is here, just dealing with some of the members of Last Nightmare.
Yeah,
Well,
let me.
actually, Nonsense is the castle holder of Hohenschwangdo.
Oh.
And no, Michelle, we haven't streamed that GS leveling yet. We've been kind of busy, so
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to schedule it out somehow. Just wait for our announcements and wait for us to chat
I,
in Discord, maybe.
yeah, I
We're
did.
going to announce it eventually.
Yeah. GS leveling. Hmm.
Yeah, they're all waiting for that. Some of the players are waiting for that, and maybe some of them want to join us in GS leveling. We can do a 1 to 99 stream maybe, but I don't know how long that will take.
Yeah.
Even for characters or for accounts with no premium or X or manuals and no XP boost at that time, I think it will take maybe around a day for it to get to 99, especially if we don't have equipment though.
Ooh. But speaking
Yeah.
of level 99 James, make sure you guys to check out the codes that we're putting on the right side
Mm-hmm.
of the screen, and make sure to input that on your GGH account, and you can win battle manual times 3, jab manual, 10 pieces of blessing scroll and agi scroll, 5 pieces of mystic powder, and 5 pieces of fierce blessing. So make sure to grab
Yes.
those codes, and who knows, we might use it on the
Yes.
GS leveling.
And some of you might ask how to redeem the codes. All you need to do is to log in or to visit the website r.genjoy.asia, log in your account, click on membership, then redeem code. Then just input the code again. The first one to enter that code will be able to claim the reward. That question mark in the code though is changed. You need to change that question mark into a random number. So you need to guess that number, right, MG?
Yes, yes, it's a random
All
number.
right. Yeah, so you need to guess that number in the that question mark. Okay, so it's
Hey.
you have 10 chances. So the lucky one will get that those rewards. All right.
Okay, so let's go and check.
Yeah, and actually we haven't seen rather DS Cartel most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are busy participating in other castles for now.
Yep. And
Mm-hmm.
again, having a 2 hour session for War of Imperium is kind of, it will actually burn your resources. So if you want to play like very strategic for this one, you need to avoid those massive clashes. Just for you to recover first from the what you have burned last War of Imperium. So I think if you're just gonna save couple of resources, you can just join at least like last hour of the session
Mm-hmm.
to prevent
What gate is
those
this?
the cartel.
Oh, that's DS Cartel. Oh, they can actually
They have the
change the
pink one.
emblem for
Yeah.
a bit. So I think they just failed to maybe put that right um, color code there at the bottom. That's why the emblem is like that. Or maybe they change it. They change it so that they will have a new look.
Yeah.
But yeah, DS Cartel wants to push this castle. I'm not sure if someone is holding this though. Maybe
Yeah.
someone's defending. That's why they are, pushing together.
Oh,
Arsenal is going
Arsenal
to
is
be
here.
here. Ooh, that gates of hell. Just staring down that minstrel from Arsenal. But of course, Arsenal, I think, will be defending this castle.
Yeah.
Some of the members are here. This
Oh.
cartel is preparing to push in, but will get knocked out by Arsenal right here. But of course, some DS
They
cartel
need to fall
members are
back on
still
this.
up and about, just waiting for the right
Okay.
opportunity to strike here. But Arsenal,
Good call there.
just ready for them right now. But they actually fell back to maybe that Emperium room,
Mm-hmm.
and DS Cartel will be regrouping right now to prepare for the defense.
Oh. Okay, good damage there coming from Yes Cartel. And good regroup there. Good regroup recognition there coming from Yes Cartel. They know that the firepower of Arsenal earlier was too strong for a couple of members. That's why they waited. Some of their members, especially the back lane and their Archbishop, they waited for their Archbishop to go to their stack. And once the Archbishop is ready to cast those battle chants, they immediately engage Arsenal into a clash, and I think that's the reason why Arsenal make a quick fallback on that area. Coming and yeah, I think the Cartel is they're very well experienced when it comes to fights, so yeah, that is actually
Yeah.
expected from them.
And the same goes for Arsenal though. I think most of them weren't just there. That's why
Yeah.
so a lot of members, scattered around to try and scout the castle to maybe reduce the numbers of DS Cartel pushing in. And but I think right now, since DS Cartel has a hold on this castle, um and it hasn't been broken, but that Rune Knight actually
Yeah.
teleported out.
I
I'm
think
not sure.
Yeah, I think they're not gonna take the castle immediately. They're just waiting for their members to maybe go on the stack, or they're just waiting for some of the arsenals to defend this. And I think that's the plan here coming from Just Cartel. They just want to have the clash on Arsenal, and I think Just Cartel knows that Arsenal doesn't have that good numbers right now. That's why they're just taking advantage of their numbers versus Arsenal.
Yes, and what surprised me the most, watching War of Imperium for quite a bit of time now,
Mm-hmm.
is Arsenal, because when we saw them the first time, they weren't this, they weren't like this. They were kind of playing a
Like
little bit
they're
passive.
very quiet
Yeah,
before.
they're playing passively.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I think 5, 6 sessions ago,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they started playing aggressively,
Okay.
and they started taking fights. Of course, fights consume a lot of potions. You need to have a lot of consumables in your storage. That guild leader is, is preparing or providing the supplies
Yeah.
for you guys. You need to prepare a lot of supplies to support you all. But yeah, this is going to be a tough battle for Arsenal if they don't have those numbers right now to battle it out with the DS Cartel.
Yes, I agree on that one. I think You're correct on that one, James. I think Arsenal right before is just saving those supplies, and right
Mm-hmm.
now I think they recognize that this is the perfect time to use those supplies to engage multiple guilds. Again, if you have more supplies, that means you can sustain more. You can actually do damage more to your opponent. Again,
Mm-hmm.
the supplies is not easy to farm because again, especially if you're using a Guyak push strategy, I think the Guyak will cost you like 500, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
500k right now. And especially if you want to sustain those Dragon's Breath, Arrow Storms coming from the RK and the Rangers, if you want to have an instant heal, if you don't have your Archbishop beside you, you might use buns as well, and buns are kind of expensive as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Yeah,
you need to
and
be strategic in your supplies and your strategy as well on how to execute on both side on those both aspects.
yes, actually, long fights usually consume a lot more potions because you need to prolong the fight. Of course, you will consume a lot of potions. Then, you need to resupply that before you come back in.
Yeah.
And so that's why guilds are trying to utilize capturing the castle at the last maybe 10 minutes of every War of Imperium session, then try and defend that or secure that castle until the War of Imperium session ends. Because again, like what I mentioned earlier, though, I'm not sure if we were
Mm-hmm.
muted at that time, but you know, the boxes spawn in a special room only accessible by the guild leader through the castle NPC. Because castles captured by guilds participating in War of Imperium spawn treasure chests each day. And castles in all realms share common rewards such as War of Imperium potions,
Mm-hmm.
siege supply boxes, high weapon boxes, War of Imperium weapon boxes, jewelry boxes, etc.
Yep.
And each castle also have their own special rewards such as Emblem of the Sun God in Scarlet Palace, Snow Crystal in Kremhild, Wrath of Valkyrie in Referion, which players can use to craft quest headgears and or god items. Or
Yes.
maybe they can sell it, to get more zenny and to buy
And
more
maybe they can
supplies.
convert it into bonds, maybe, right? Yeah,
Mm.
actually it's really amazing how the guild leader managed to, do the budgeting on the supplies for their members. Because again, if you're a royal guard, you have a different set of supplies. If you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about royal guard, you're talking about sustaining, or you're gonna be the sponge on your guild, right? Because you have the Sakra, you need to sustain the character that you are supporting, right? And
Mm.
for
And that's
Rune Knight,
sacrifice though. That's
sacrifice,
sacrifice.
yeah, Sakra,
Yeah, yeah.
sacrifice, yeah.
Yeah, sacrifice. They might be,
Ah, yeah, yeah, sacrifice, yeah, the sacrifice. And the same time for Rune Knight as well. Rune Knight, most of the time, they're the one who's trying to front in on fights. And in speaking of fronting on fights, most of the time you're getting single focus by Hell's Gate, or maybe Acid Demo, or even multiple AoEs coming from the Warlocks as well. So
Mhm.
those types of damage that's been receiving from that Rune Knight, you need to have certain HP, HP recovery, like buns and all, and those are really expensive to use, or very expensive to to sustain. So
Yeah.
yeah, they need to
Yeah, that's
be
yeah,
strategic
they
on
need to
their
be strategic in managing their economy. But again, all Royal Guard builds are different though. So sometimes some Royal Guards are damage type, like what we see right here with that Griffon that's color yellow.
yeah, yeah.
That has a two-hand quicken, or that spear quicken rather, spear quicken. And that build is a damage type Royal Guard, which can deal a lot of single target damage. Since some of the builds of Suras though, we noticed that some of the Suras are going for that uh, Guillotine Fist build.
Yeah.
Some of them are Gates of Hell build. Some of them are support build, which they use to, just go in, windmill, and use that first circle to disable everyone out.
Yes.
And because of the strategy, depends on the strategy of the guild, and in how they utilize every character they have in
Yes.
the guild to maybe maximize their potential in War of Imperium.
Ooh.
All right.
Yep.
So right now, a few members of DS Cartel is trying to battle it out with Purple Dominari right here. DS Cartel is at a disadvantage since you can see the numbers of Dominari right now, Purple Dominari.
Yep.
It's not going to be easy to handle for DS Cartel, especially with their current numbers inside. They will get squished by both Dominari and Arsenal here, since Arsenal is the defender.
Mm-hmm. And this is gonna be an interesting fight coming from Dominari, Purple Dominari, and Arsenal. I'm pretty excited for the clash that's gonna happen between these two guilds. I think Arsenal has the tempo for today, and I think they can actually take down Purple Dominari for this matchup. So just wondering on how Arsenal will approach this area.
Oh, and that's
Wow.
what we saw right
One
there.
dragon,
Actually,
one arc is
no, that was on a Rune Knight
yeah.
with Genetic and Ranger just dealing damage against Purple Dominari right there. But that's suicidal destruction. We saw that happen. One of the members, or maybe two of the members of DS Cartel went down, and he's just laughing while
Yeah.
going out. Just laughing.
But again, I think
Because, yeah.
yeah, but I think that's a bad trade. Having your suicidal destruction hitting like two enemies, I think that's a bad trade coming from that mechanic. I think if you're gonna use your suicidal destruction, you can actually use it in a massive clash. So I think he can actually use a acid demo, I think, or some skill that can prevent Gas Cartel from regrouping.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong with it since he's laughing, he's happy about it. Maybe taking one or two
I
members
agree.
down is
Yeah, I agree.
actually
Well,
good.
yeah, I'm speaking about strategically on a big fight. That's actually a bad one.
Yeah, technicalities, of course.
Yeah.
You want to maximize the potential. of
Yes.
your two
Again,
guys.
the cooldown for that skill is 5 minutes, guys. So if you only have like one mechanic on your side, again, that your opportunity to push is gonna be lessened because of your mechanic using that on 2 players only. So that's really a bad one coming from that mechanic.
Yes. And right now, it's going to be DS Cartel just regrouping right now. Maybe we'll try to deal with. They will try to deal with Arsenal, who is defending that portal. So we're not sure what will
Yep.
happen, since DS Cartel doesn't have a lot of members right now.
Yes.
But if you can go here, actually at the entrance of Hohen Shuanggo, Last Nightmare is preparing to push Dominai right here.
Oh. Wait.
So I think this will be another good fight here in Hohen Shuanggo, but I'm not sure if they actually went in, since Dominari is the castle holder.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. I think they went out.
Oh, okay.
Because earlier though they were preparing to go in this castle, so
Yes.
maybe they shifted to a different castle for that.
Yeah, and to be fair about this cartel, we do understand that they have low numbers for today. But again, they're very good on regrouping today. They have a quick regroup every time that their members are getting wiped. I think they've been regrouping faster now compared to the old regroup that they have for the last week. And again, I think DS Cartel is showing their numbers today, and I think this is gonna be a good matchup between Cartel and Arsenal.
Yes.
Okay.
And speaking of regroups, I think I mentioned this a lot of times in the earlier stream, or in every stream. Dominari, I want to commend how quick they are in regrouping
They are.
every time. They're very, very quick into,
Okay.
pushing
Oh,
back into
Dominari's
castle,
getting
but right now
sandwiched.
it's going to be DS Cartel versus Purple Dominari right now.
Here we go.
And DS Cartel is taking a lot of damage, those Dragon's Breath.
Okay,
And,
they have the
not a
mechanic,
lot
they
of
have the
members of
mechanic,
Dominari
they have the
going down,
mechanic.
and you can see that Dragon's Water's Breath coming out, coming from
They're getting
this Rune
2v1.
Knight. And you can see that Shadow Chaser just messing things up for DS Cartel, as
They need to regroup
Dominari
on this one.
wants to push DS Cartel out of this map and maybe wipe them out entirely before preparing themselves to push
Yeah.
this castle against Arsenal.
Yeah, I think what happened there earlier is Dominari is focusing on the Escartel, and some of the Arsenal players actually snipe the Escartel's number versus Dominari. So earlier it was a 2v1 scenario for the Escartel. You have Arsenal on the high ground, and you have the Dominari, purple Dominari on the low ground. So that's why it's really hard to deal with that 2v1 scenario. So yeah, I think they paddle back. That's actually a good call coming from the Escartel, but it should have been a quick regroup on that lower choke area. They can actually fight back Dominari on that situation, but I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe there's a miscommunication. They panicked because of those massive AoEs that hit their back lane. But yeah, it could actually turn into a win on that push coming from the Escartel.
I think what happened right there was most of the damage dealers of the Cartel either got disabled or killed in the battle there against Dominari. Since Dominari pushed out first to make the Cartel fall back.
Yeah.
And you know, Arsenal is just waiting for them here in this choke point. And actually, this is a good choke point to hold since there are two entrances to this castle. So, you know, having a hold of this choke point will actually be a huge thing, especially since this, I don't know, this choke point is in the entrance.
Yes.
So they need to travel a lot more. So they're going to battle out with Arsenal first here at this entrance. Then if they want to push in a little bit further, they need to regroup again, then push at a different spot.
Yes. And what I like about Arsenal right now, what they're doing right now, they've been maximizing the opportunity that they have on this fight. We know for a fact that the Escartel is pushing or Dominari is pushing, and they know that at the back of Dominari there is the Escartel. They want to make sure that they are using that 2v1 scenario versus a guild. Then once a guild is having a low number, they force the 1v1 immediately and immediately snatch the win out of these two guilds that they're facing right now. So good call there coming from Arsenal. I really like the strategy that they're doing right now.
Yes, and I like how they are playing a little bit defensively right now.
Defensive, but and smart at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, actually playing defense in the castle will save you a lot of supplies.
Yes. Yeah,
Again, since supplies, you need to consume a lot of supplies in every War of Emperium session. So maybe they're kind of saving up a little bit of supplies to just get things ready for the next sessions.
What is that next session?
Next War of Emperium session.
Okay.
Which will happen on
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Alright?
Okay.
This will happen on Tuesday.
Okay. I thought
Or maybe they want to join us in our GS leveling.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they need supplies.
Yeah, I get you now.
Right. But since we are just watching the Arsenal defend this castle right now, I saw some people just open up angelic eggs. Actually, it's happening right now. They're opening up angelic eggs. And yeah, angelic egg, of course, is still available. And this is now your chance to grab hold of all the latest items in game, like the costume blessing of angel, ascended weapon box, safe to night certificates, costume sleep sheep. Of course, that's my favorite of the bunch.
Oh.
And so much more. You can get so much more items there. Of course, it's like a gacha system. You need to try your luck.
Yes.
You need to try your luck into getting the items that you need.
Yeah. My RNG is really bad, so.
Yeah.
But again, I might get that blanket costume.
Oh, the costume sleep sheet though.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that one. And a comment here coming from Michelle. Or is that Mitchell? I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I might be wrong. MG, you need to stream. We will join. Me, Alex, and Francis will join you.
Okay.
Right.
So he's bringing. Okay.
And other friends. Okay, I just translated that.
Okay. Okay.
I just translated it, alright? But they will join you. So they are waiting for you to stream that GS leveling. See, I told you.
Someone told me that the GS is. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe when everyone's level 99,
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
do a
yeah, yeah.
PvP session of a gunslinger
Only
only.
level 99 PvP.
Yeah, only Eden items and level up box items.
Yeah,
Those items are the only ones you can use for that
true.
PvP fight. Yeah.
Oh, Opus Dei.
And yeah, Opus Dei actually.
Oh.
Um they're a little bit subtle every time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to produce too much traction for their guild. So they're playing a little bit, passively every time. Of course, they want to take up castles.
Yeah,
If they secure that castle at the end of the session, that's good for them
yeah.
because more economy for them. And I believe they actually held some castles a few War of Imperiums back.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they are trying to secure a castle once again for this session. Of course, securing a castle will boost a lot of your guild's economy since you can get supply potions, you can get those exclusive items that you need to craft quest headgears or god items. And yeah, that will be a good thing to do if you're a guild, and maybe some solo guilds like Sword,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh
Trying to secure
yeah.
a castle, but I'm not sure if he managed to secure a castle at the end of the session.
Yeah, I think he
But
did.
that royal guard from Sword, I forgot the name.
Van Dart. Yeah, Van Dart.
Yeah,
Van Dart.
it's really really beefed up.
Yeah, he's
Has
actually
a lot of yeah.
he's pretty geared actually. I think he's one of the most geared player in game. I'm assuming. Because it's not. I mean, he been taking out several players in our War of Imperium, especially Dominari. We're talking about Dominari's player being killed by a single player. We're talking about 9 players. Who's getting slaughtered by this Royal Guard. So yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to take a look at where the other guilds are right now. Because earlier we saw them at some castles in Geffen.
Mm-hmm.
At the start of the session, we saw them in Kremhild,
Mm-hmm.
like we always do. But they're not there right now. So maybe they are battling it out with other guilds currently.
And yes, and I think James, it's actually normal to maybe tone down a bit on your fights because again, um, the supplies, you need to manage your supplies. I mean, if you want to sustain the entire month of War of Imperium for fights, you need to have a good or you need to have a decent supplies for your guildmates, right? So maybe they're taking that path that they need to get some supply first before going into a full push for a certain guild, right? So I think that's normal in War from Imperium scene.
Yeah, and actually, this is the first time that I saw
Yeah.
a guild summon guardians
I
to defend
know.
their castle. So yeah, they're just leaving that
And
archer. I'm not sure if they can hit that archer though.
yes, and I just want to say this. I really like the logo right now of Fratres.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have a
Actually,
new logo. I
it's
like
pretty
it.
different though.
Yep.
Compared to their old one,
This
this
is really
emblem
flashy.
can be more visibly seen.
Yep.
And still they have that FR,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not using that transparent
Yeah.
color specific color code to actually make the background transparent here in RO.
Yes, and because sometimes the logos can actually help you to locate your members as well during fights, and it can actually can actually affect also on fights as well, because if your enemy sees that they have you, I mean the enemy has more numbers or you have more numbers than them, it can actually affect their morale that, oh my god, they have more numbers on us,
Oh.
maybe I'm just gonna fall back or something. So yeah.
But they need to take this castle first though.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they want to defend Fat Grid Castle. So that's why they are preparing for that. To break this, then prepare their defense. That's why most of their members are going in.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I said earlier, about the emblems. If you guys aren't aware, if you want to make your emblem transparent, or if you want to have a transparent
Mm-hmm.
background, make sure the color, uh, RGB code, or
Ah,
the
yeah,
RGB
yeah.
color for the color that you will use for the transparency is red 255 and blue 255 with G or green at 0.
Yeah.
All
Or
right.
else it will turn into, forgot the color,
Yeah, it
like
will
pink.
turn into pink. Like I think that's what happened with DS Cartel, but I'm not sure. Maybe that was intentional.
Yeah.
So if there are DS Cartel members there, let us know if that was intentional or not for your emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually they have the that everything transparent on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Then that yellow emblem.
Mm.
But right now, yeah, like what you said earlier, MG, most guilds are kinda toning it down a bit, of course, to save up more supplies, to save up their consumables, since Warf Imperium consume a lot.
Yes.
And yeah,
Because it's
and
been
that's why most of the guilds are playing a little bit passively and defensively.
yes, because again, James, we've been seeing fights on multiple fights for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks already. And like Dominari, we know Dominari for a fact that they've been really aggressive on guild versus guilds. Arsenal as well for the past month as well. They've been very aggressive. So again, those types of fights that they've been engaging is,
Oh,
it will
yeah.
actually burn a lot of supplies on their guild.
No,
And
actually, MG,
mm,
I think we just did it. We just can't see them because they're here in Bright Arbor Castle.
wait, what?
All right. Yeah, go to the entrance of Bright Arbor Castle. They're actually here right
Oh,
now.
okay.
So, yeah, like what we said is viable since you want to save up your supplies. But I think most of the guilds right now, of course, they want to battle it out. Of course, test their GVG tactics or their fighting prowess in every situation.
Yep.
But yeah, last nightmare is here. Earlier there were DS Cartel members. DS Cartel is the castle holder, so they might defend this castle and maybe deal with last nightmare. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if last nightmare is going to push. They're just holding the entrance of this castle right now.
Okay.
Or no, actually they're not holding the portal, so they're giving space for guilds to kind of regroup right
Yes.
now here.
I think Last Nightmare is thirsty for fights. That's why, maybe they're just regrouping or letting the guilds regroup to fight them. Okay, so right now we are seeing the Cartel on the north side, and on the south side we are seeing Last Nightmare. Last Nightmare
Oh,
right now is trying to push. We are seeing those RKs in front. Dragon's Breath trying to connect on the front line of DS
oh,
Cartel. DS
Warlock!
Cartel is still sustaining, but
Suicidal!
again,
Oh,
oh!
suicidal
And that's suicidal
destruction!
destruction connected to two RKs or two front lines of DS Cartel. DS Cartel right now is trying to push slowly but surely, but Last Nightmare is trying to regroup on the left side, making sure that they are not getting trapped there on that side. And some of the players of DS Cartel is just waiting here. They need to regroup because they are low on numbers. And now Last Nightmare recognized that they don't have numbers, and right now they're engaging Dragon's Breath, but again Curse is getting connected to Last Nightmare, and one of the Royal Guard of the Cartel is trying to go in and try to snipe one by one the back lane of Last Nightmare, and we only have like one or two front lines coming from Last Nightmare, trying to sustain the damage coming from the arcades of the Cartel, casting Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath right now trying to approach the members of Last Nightmare. Last Nightmare is losing members one by one, and right now they're just trying to finish off all of the members of Last Nightmare, and that is a sweep coming from the Cartel. Good job.
Actually, there were no members of Last Nightmare who went in to support the players battling
Yeah.
there or here in this section. But the Cartel did a good job into defending this spot. Although they got damaged heavily by that suicidal destruction. Because Last Nightmare's offense was a little bit scattered right there. That gave the chance for DS Cartel to regroup and
Mm-hmm.
maybe put up their numbers here in this spot to support their defense. And I like how they utilize their Sura. Of course, we have that curse circle who went in with that curse circle. Then that Royal Guard just picking off the members. And I need to note this, or you need to notice that they are that Royal Guard is picking the right characters to attack every
Yes.
time, not just blindly attacking every other character that he sees. If he sees our Archbishop or if he sees that Sura, he tries to make sure to attack that Sura first for that to prevent the curse circle or windmill coming from the
Yes.
opposing Sura. So I like how they are battling right now. But let's see if Last Nightmare pushes this spot once again. Not
Yes.
sure though. They might be at the entrance, but no, actually Arsenal's at the entrance of this castle right now.
And again, we've been seeing this cartel playing passively for the past weeks, and I hope this actually gives them confidence and maybe come back on the competitive scene of guild versus guild, because again they've been playing passive like I said on the past week, and right now Arsenal is here trying to do range fights versus DS Cartel. DS Cartel right now, Dragon's Breath coming there, and Curse Circle, but Curse Circle managed to connect to two players there. Three players, I think, yeah. And Arsenal's pushing in. Quick damage here coming from Arsenal, trying to do heavy damage on AoEs. And I think DS Cartel is not ready for that movement from Arsenal. But again, Last Nightmare is hitting the back lane of Arsenal, wiping the entire guild. And Arsenal will take their revenge on DS Cartel, and they're just gonna sweep DS Cartel one by one on this area. So I think DS Cartel is gonna regroup inside, and hopefully they can have, or they can actually put a good defense on the second map for this.
Yeah, but this is going to be a little bit difficult for DS Cartel to defend. They need to position themselves in the right spot and resupply first before going in or going back to the castle once again. Last Nightmare right now is not really pushing that heavily into this castle. So they might be playing a little bit passively right now, since they want to regroup first before going in. Since Arsenal is at their back, they want to deal with Arsenal first. Curse Circle. That actually, Mandragora Howling affected a lot of players of Arsenal. That's why that Curse Circle has a huge casting time right there. But Last Nightmare, some of their members actually trying to push it. Suicidal Destruction not connecting right there. And you can see the members of Last Nightmare taking out the members of Arsenal right here. And Arsenal only has 2 members left. As you can see, make that 3. But that Rune Knight and that Archbishop will go down. Archbishop, or rather Arsenal, will retreat and regroup to battle it out.
Yes.
For another time.
Yes. I was really surprised that DS Cartel managed to wipe Last Nightmare on that matchup.
Probably because Arsenal was at the back. They couldn't regroup earlier because earlier, like what I said, no one from Last Nightmare was coming in to regroup, and the reason behind that was Arsenal was holding the entrance. So that's why if you're going to go in one by one, you will have a hard time. You can't go in. You can't go in the castle. So that's why DS Cartel, they have that flag warp. They have the advantage. They can push in however they want. They can, make the members of Last Nightmare scatter earlier. And they did a good job actually into defending that spot earlier on. But right now, Last Nightmare is going to regroup at a very, very secluded spot there behind the tree. Or under that tree, rather.
Yeah. It's actually a good spot to hide your those key players again. And I think they're just trying to bait the entrance here. They're putting like multiple players only on the entrance. And once they got the bait coming from Arsenal, or Arsenal got baited on their trick, I think they're gonna go in for all-in push. And for this one,
Maybe,
I think
yeah, they're just regrouping there at the left side to make sure that no one no player from their guild will get eliminated before they actually push in. So they want to regroup together.
Yes.
But as you see right here, Arsenal is just holding right now that Minstrel was always...
They've been scouted by last minute.
I think that that minstrel of Last Nightmare is always the late one to go in, or the last one to go in. But right now, you can see some our Rune Knights of Last Nightmare just dealing damage against Arsenal right here. But missing, I think they have that new map. Curse Circle actually affecting a lot. That's why you don't want to stack up in a third job battle. Look at that Curse Circle disabling almost everyone there.
I think they're not prepared for that curse circle coming from Last Nightmare.
That's why you don't want to. That's why you don't want to stack up a group up in a single or a very tight spot like what they did earlier. But right now, Last Nightmare is preparing for that push. You can see some smoke clouds or poison smokes there. But you know, you can see that curse circle come from Last Nightmare.
They're jumping in again.
They're still not battling that curse circle. They're still not.
They need to be careful with this one.
The stack of DS Cartel right there. Last Nightmare is just pushing in, but DS Cartel is holding them back and making sure they don't go in. Look at those Dragon Breaths coming from DS Cartel, just eliminating the members of Last Nightmare. But Last Nightmare will live to push this castle. They're still alive. They can still regroup. And DS Cartel needs to fall back and retreat to a different spot.
Yes, that's actually good. Badu, Relock, and Curse Circle coming from that Sura. Woo. He's been landing those Curse Circle for you know, he's been really successful for landing those Curse Circle to the enemy guild. So yeah, he's been creating those open space.
DS Cartel though, MG. They didn't actually eliminate or they didn't attack that Sura. Kasi that Curse Circle, like what's happening right now again against Arsenal. That Curse Circle, once again, like what I said earlier, they need to make sure they have damage dealers on their backline to make sure they don't get affected by that Sura casting that Curse Circle.
Yes, that's actually really painful. If you got the Curse Circle. And you know for a fact that Last Nightmare has the way to punish those players who got stuck on that skill. They have the Rangers, they have the Rune Knights to punish those players who got circled on that Sura.
And oh no. You know why oh no, MG? We can see some Dominari players coming into play. Oh no.
Here we go,
this
boys.
Is going to be a brutal
big and strong.
battle.
Let's go.
Castle Arrow Storm eliminating Warlock along with that Storm Gust. And of course, that Shadow Chaser.
This is going to be a big party for them.
Last Nightmare is still there. Dominari coming into play. You can see that Shadow Chaser along with that Sorcerer just dealing damage against Last Nightmare right here. And you can see them make Last Nightmare scatter. And the Windmill Guillotine Fist eliminating that Warlock. And this is...
We have a new challenger versus the Cartel.
Yes. Yes.
But
the
I think
Dominari is here. Oh no.
But I think the Cartel is aware that Dominari is here. And we're not talking about one Dominari, but this is the full stack of Dominari. Woo!
Everyone
charging in.
Everyone from Dominari is here.
Okay. If this is gonna be a good one, because if Dominari Red will push in, they will be left out with Purple Dominari. Oh no, it's actually on the other way. Dominari Red will hold Last Nightmare. Dominari Purple will take a 1v1 fight versus DS Cartel. This is gonna be a good fight coming from these two guilds.
But I think the majority of the members right now are Dominari Pink.
Yeah, pink. Though they have...
But they're still violet or pink, the Dominari Purple. We can consider that Dominari Purple. But yeah, you can see those members of Red Dominari just there.
Okay, here we go.
Behind
it's that, actually a mix-up. Red and Purple Dominari. This is a full stack of those two guilds.
Oh no!
Okay.
This is going to be quite difficult.
They need to sustain the damage.
Right,
they need to put heavy damage there on the side of the Cartel. They need to make that floor hot for Dominari. Dominari right now is putting Land Protector, making sure that the AoEs won't hit their lineup. And right now, Dominari is just gonna swarm in, and
Curse circle though.
most of the DS cartel is getting wiped here, and Dominari Purple is just charging in with Red Dominari. Are we gonna see Last Nightmare hitting the back lane here? Are we gonna see a response coming Last Nightmare? I think no response from Last Nightmare here at the back lane. And yeah, that's a full lineup of Dominari. Woo!
And yeah, actually that Sura of the Escartel was a little bit too late into using that curse circle. Maybe he got eliminated on the first try. That's why he just quickly went back in and used that, tried to support his guildmates earlier. But that curse circle was a little bit too late. When he casted that curse circle, most of the damage dealers of the Escartel already got eliminated.
Yes.
And I think Dominari isn't planning to push this castle.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're going to a different spot.
I think they just want to get the fights here. Or maybe some of the Dominaris are watching us right now. Hello, guys.
or maybe there's a battle at the entrance though. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, I just want to comment one thing about that, on that fight. Again, if you're facing with a large number like that, for me, I think my take on that one, you cannot, just body relock and curse circle with that amount of number. Again, it's only a 5x5 cell, and we're talking about like 70 players, 60 players maybe, in front of you. I think the best way to counter the push of Dominari is do a defensive curse circle. Right?
Well,
I mean, if they charge
can
in,
do it.
I mean, if they charge in, that's the time that you do a curse circle.
Well, they can do that, but you can see that Dominari has a lot of members and they are pretty scattered. So that's why that Cursal isn't hitting a lot of players. So they need to wait for the right opportunity to use that curse circle and utilize most of their members. But again, the Escartel Sura was a little bit late when they tried to defend against Dominari earlier. So most of their damage dealers already got eliminated.
Yeah.
So that's why when that Sura used that curse circle, he had no choice but to body relook away.
Yes.
Because there was no one to deal damage, and they're just going to stand there. He's going to get eliminated by the Dominari players who weren't affected by that curse circle.
Yes. But yeah, for me, a defensive curse circle would actually suffice on sustaining that fight. And again, if you're gonna curse circle that amount of players, and you see a lot of backlane players sitting or casting massive AoEs, eventually you will die. It's like a trade-off, right? And again,
Can you elaborate more into the
defensive. Okay.
circle?
For example, we know for a fact that Dominari is doing a rush push. When you say rush push, they put their arcades, they put their sorcerer going in to the stack of the enemies immediately. Again, if that Suras can do a defensive curse circle on their stack to prevent those rush to come in to their stack, I think that could actually be a good one to sustain, or maybe take a bit of time to re-strategize or to regroup, or a bit of, maybe a quick paddle back, then regroup, then quick damage. That could actually be the scenario on that one. But again,
Yes.
I don't agree with the offensive or aggressive curse circle, especially if you're defending. Again, that you're facing for 60 players on that stack.
Maybe you just need to time your curse circle, right?
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
I mean,
They just need to maybe time it right, because I'm not sure with how you can play defensively while using curse circle, since you get if most of them are going to rush into your stack, or maybe to stop that mechanic from casting that suicidal destruction, I think that would be fine.
yeah.
But yeah, actually, before we talk about that, we are just going to see a battle between Dominari and Last Nightmare right here. Last Nightmare is a little bit scattered as Dominari quickly pushing in on Last Nightmare and making sure they all get wiped out before heading back here to their
Yeah.
staff.
I think Dominari is not letting Last Nightmare to regroup on that one. I'm not sure why, but
Oh,
again,
what? Is that just a sage?
yeah.
Oh, he has no guild. It's just a sage. Just I'm not sure what he's doing there. Let's see who will hit that sage. Someone going to hit that sage. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm not. I'm, I'm not sure what she's doing there. Oh hey. All right. So again, as what we are seeing right now, this defense of Arsenal is pretty familiar to us, MG.
Ah,
We've been
yes.
seeing Arsenal do this for quite a few sessions now, and they're always successful into defending this spot. But when Red Dominary comes into play, into pushing this, um, most of the time they cannot defend against the offense of Red Dominary.
They've been casting Mandragora now.
Yes. And look at those AoE skills casted on the ground, and you can see Red Dominary actually splitting up into two groups.
I think,
But maybe they got pushed from behind.
yes,
Last
Last Nightmare.
Nightmare is right there. Dominary wants to deal with Last Nightmare first. Again, Last Nightmare a little bit scattered. They just want to reduce the members or the numbers of Dominary right here. I'm not sure if a lot of members of Dominary got wiped out since most of them are pushing together. That's what I like about Dominari. If no one gets left behind.
Yes.
Everyone just follows.
And it's really hard to pick off their back lane because everyone is moving. No one is moving like the facing of their guild is very fast. And that's actually one of the best about Dominari. If the commander mentioned that they need to push, everyone will push. No one will stay. Everyone is fully committed on one command. So that's actually what's one of the best things about this guild, their
Yes.
commitment.
And earlier on, MG, I mentioned that they were a little bit split up, but they actually grouped together now, probably to prevent the flank from other guilds.
Yeah.
Some of their members actually split. Mandragora Howling got casted. Those frontliners of Arsenal is in trouble. Dragon's Breath coming from both sides. Arrow Storms landing on Dominari right now. They have that land
They have the
protector.
mechanic, they have
a lot
mechanic
of
now.
members of Dominari going down. But those members from the backline
They're
are now
sustaining.
pushing in. Arsenal's
Here
still
we go.
alive. Arsenal's still
Let's
alive
go.
though. And you can see that
Wow.
Mandragora Howling of Arsenal did a
Connecting.
huge thing. for
They need to
Arsenal right
defend,
now,
they need
but
to defend on
Dominari
this.
still alive, just attacking the members of Arsenal right now, just making sure they all get eliminated,
White Pots
wiped
are
out.
getting
As
burned
Arsenal
here.
only has one member left, Dominari successful in the push, but Arsenal did a good job into holding them back.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, almost.
Almost.
Almost. That was an almost victory for Arsenal right there.
And we're talking about an like I think that's like 80% full stack of Dominari. I'm not sure if that's a full attendance, but that's a lot to defend.
Yeah, actually.
And
Um,
the mechanic, James, they're very prepared on the mechanic. I think we saw like two mechanics failed on their self-destruct.
Yes.
So they didn't land those mechanics on the stack of Arsenal, and Arsenal was very prepared for that push. Wow.
And yeah, I like how Arsenal played that really well. Um, that Arrow Storm came in late, but dealt a lot of damage against the Dominari. But what I like about the battle more is that Dominari again. When they are going on the offensive, not all of them push together.
Yes.
They always have members from the back so that they won't get eliminated immediately. They have damage dealers from the back. They have those shadow chasers just causing mayhem against the opposing guilds.
Yes.
And a good battle, if that's what I can say.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can say about what
that
happened.
that was the sustain is there, the aggressiveness, the timing was there as well. It's just Dominari has more numbers basically. But again, if they have even numbers, I think Arsenal can snatch that win out of the hands of Dominari right away. Whew.
And we have a question coming from Fernando. It's a little bit late. Yeah, actually, you can't. You can technically you can technically stack up, or maybe just group together in a um congested together in a tight spot. But it's not really ideal in a third job scenario, since a lot of there are a lot of AoE skills and a lot of disabled skills like Curse Circle, AoE Curse Circle. But Arsenal just push out
Oh,
and
good
making sure
recognition
to
this one on this
damage
one.
Dominari right
They need
now,
to be
and
careful.
Dominari's numbers got reduced, but Arsenal will actually fall back, and Dominari
Oh,
noticed that as they are going to push in. They took advantage of what happened earlier. They took advantage that Arsenal pushed out. But Arsenal, though, they were a little bit too aggressive there, instead of
they
just
got too
holding.
greedy. Yeah, they got greedy there. I think on that push.
Yeah, instead of just holding that spot, instead of holding that portal, they actually pushed out. But yeah, you can see that Dominari, when they group up, they don't group up together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, it's really hard to wipe out a Red Dominari. Because, again, they always have members from the backline. Look at them stack up right now. You can take that, for example. They are pretty split up.
Mm-hmm.
They have members on the right side. Of course, majority of the members are there
Mm-hmm.
to hold that portal or that flag warp. And some of their members are split up there at the top of that top side.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone casts those arrow storms or dragon's breath, not a lot of them will get affected. And you can see some members of some support members like some suras are there split,
Mm-hmm.
and some damage dealers are also split. So
Yep.
they can spread out the damage evenly in every situation. So that's why when someone pushes in with that curse circle, they can eliminate that sura who used that curse circle.
Yep.
They have members to deal damage against mechanics who try to push in against their stack. And that's why Dominari is pretty deadly right now.
Yes, and especially with their lineup earlier. But again, I think this is the first time that I see the mechanic of Dominari getting disabled properly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first time that you know, that we encountered that one guild managed to perfectly disable the mechanic of Dominari on a clash.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good job on Arsenal.
Yes. A great defense right there, but Dominari is still a deadly guild to deal with.
Ah, definitely.
Knows how to I think most of their members know how to play. And I got to commend their leader though. Because or their shot caller though, because of course most commands will come from the shot caller
Ah, yes.
or the commander of the guild. And I gotta commend on how they play their strategy to deal with every
Mhm.
situation. And yeah, actually, we have some comments here from Jeff Invalid Coupon. If you're mentioning about if what you mentioned is about the code here at our lower right of the screen, you need to change that question mark into a random number. So it's either 0 to 9, and guess the number, guess that question mark. Type in the code, then that question mark needs to be changed into a random number. All right. So yeah, the first one to
Guess.
claim or to guess that code and claim that will be able to redeem the rewards. Again, what are the rewards for the codes? You can either get battle manuals, job manuals, a blessing or Agi's Pulse, mystic powders,
Oh.
or Tears Blessing. All right. And what is this not? Oh, Opus Dei.
Opus Dei
Here.
versus Nemesis.
Are they- Oh yeah, okay. So Nemesis Armada. So I like how Nemesis Armada changed their defense here in this castle.
Yep.
Because before, when we actually saw them here in this castle, most of them were at the top side, near the portal or near the Emperium portal, if I might say it. But right now they changed their defense. I think they learned um, from last time, from what
Yeah.
they saw from Arsenal, maybe that their defense from the defense of Arsenal here in this castle, because they need to utilize that classical pluck or that Roki's veil
Mhm.
casted near or casted when you go in that portal, all right, or beside that portal rather. So they need to make sure to eliminate the members
Mm-hmm.
going in. They need to stop them from pushing the back line and to stay together
Exactly.
for to maximize their defense.
Okay. And I think Opus Day is just gonna wait it out. I think the best strategy for Opus Day right now is just maybe if Nemesis Armada is gonna poke in, or I mean, if they're gonna poke out, maybe they can take those players individually. Then once the defense is reduced, maybe around 60% or maybe 70%, maybe Opus they can actually engage the defense of Nemesis Armada. But currently, the numbers of Nemesis Armada, they need to pull off a solid execution to remove those. I think that's rock something
Well, I'm not sure if
classical
the
clock.
numbers
No.
of Opus Dei can deal with Nemesis Armada right now. Since you can see, we already briefly saw that defense of Nemesis Armada. It's going to be difficult without a lot of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If Opus Dei only has this number of members, I think this will be quite impossible for them to break. Unless they have fully geared, or all of them are fully geared, or
Yeah, exactly.
really stacked up items like over upgraded items plus
Like
15 or
that
whatever.
dark. Yeah,
All
from
right.
but
So a
yeah,
comment
again.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Go.
sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to say that I think if they can actually pull a perfect execution inside, maybe things could change up. They can actually put their Suras in front. They don't have enough RKs. I think the RKs, if they lose their RKs, they will lose their firepower immediately. So I think the best option for this one is putting the Suras on tank mode maybe, just to sustain the
Yes.
damage and try to go and let the Suras go to the back lane and draw attention. Then a quick follow up by RKs. I think that could actually, break the defense
Well,
of Nemesis.
yeah, but they first need to, wait for that Rocky's Veil or that classical clock to wear out. But they
Yeah.
need to time it right. And yeah, actually, I'm just going to read the comments right here, said by Michelle. Nice, solid casters. They explain things well, and they discuss the strategies and you know give their own opinions. Okay, let me know, Michelle, if that is correct.
Mhm.
I just translated that. I just translated that into English so that everyone can understand.
Mhm.
But yeah, since we're just waiting for Opus Day to actually push in this castle, I do want to talk about the updates and events currently in the game. Of course, we've been mentioning this since a few War of Imperiums back now. The old card album update, because there are 90 new cards in the old card album, including that Ghost Ring card. Okay, so you can utilize that Ghost Ring card, but actually Opus Dei actually push in right now. MG, Opus Dei pushed in. Okay, so let's see what's happened. Oh, and actually, that Dragon's Breath,
Yeah.
that Dragon's Breath ng Opus Dei though.
Okay, they have two
Oh
members
my
down.
goodness! And look at that Dragon's Breath landing, eliminating a lot of
This guy.
players from Nemesis Armada. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure how they dealt with that classical pluck earlier, since they have that safety wall, and a lot of players of Nemesis just holding
Oh.
that spot. But Nemesis Armada, of course, used that to flag warp together to regroup here in this castle.
Yes. Because basically, classical block will just prevent you to cast skills, right? So all they need to do is just pass the classical block there.
But they
And
have traps though. There were
yeah.
traps. Maybe they all of them pushed in together, and
Yeah.
most AOE skills or they Nemesis Armada didn't deal that much AOE skills. That's why they safely pushed out of that Loki's Veil or classical pluck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Crimson Rock coming from them. Oh, okay, that Guillotine Cross though. And Opus Dei regrouping once again. They want to try a second time around. And Nemesis Armada has their defense all set for a time being.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So speaking of events, Of course, we still have our Monster Hunter event still up and running. You can seek out the Midgard Night in major cities and complete the quests. Collect event tokens and exchange for exclusive Predator and Marauder equipment. Event lasts until August 18, 2022. So we still have 5 more days to go for this event.
Yep.
So this lasts until the maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the next maintenance will push this event out.
Yep.
All right. And we also have that Islu Dungeon Floor 6. MVP Kraken and Montes are available, and it requires a premium buff to access. Okay. If you want to know more information about what I mentioned earlier, you can visit our website, ro.gnjoy.asia, or join the ROGGH Discord. Links can be found in the description, or the pinned comment of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so I think Opus Day will try again on this one. Again, they need to be careful on this Rune Knight. This one is actually the one who's so managed to slay some Nemesis Armada players. He's IGN, he's Genski, something? Yeah, they need to be careful on that Rune Knight. Genski.
Yeah, actually, that Rune Knight dealt a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think once one Dragon's Breath eliminated maybe around 4 or 5 players from Nemesis Armada. So yeah, huge damage coming from that Rune Knight of Opus Day. Right now though, other castles, Scarlet Palace is being well defended by the Cartel, and I cannot see other guilds though. Maybe they're still in Bright Arbor. I think DS Cartel got pushed out of Bright Arbor earlier. So maybe DS Cartel is just going to play it a little bit defensively. That's why they don't want to push the maps that there are a lot of people.
Oh, we have some Dominaries here.
Oh, but that Guillotine Fist though. Okay, so that Shadow Chaser wants to survive.
Wow.
And yeah, actually, I think you can deal damage if that Shadow Chaser use that skill. But that Guillotine Cross just trying to deal damage against that Shadow Chaser. And yeah, Shadow Chasers are pretty annoying to deal with.
Yep.
Since they have a lot of skills to disable you, they have a lot of skills to reduce your damage and to make you go crazy. They can make you go crazy really, really fast.
Okay. I think we're seeing...
Oof, okay. And Opus Day, just regrouping right here. That Guillotine Cross of Nemesis Armada got spotted. And he will just actually Butterfly Wing out. Or maybe Character Select out. And yeah, still that our Shadow Chaser of Dominari. You can see Opus Day. They don't want to deal with that Shadow Chaser. They just sat down, or that Sura of Opus Day just sat down.
So we have Pirates here, Fratres is here as well.
Pirates? What's happening? What's happening? A lot of them are here. And yeah, I think Opus Day is not going to pursue this castle any longer. Maybe Dominari will have a go against the defense of Fratres.
Yeah, I think Dominari is here now.
Oh no, this is going to be dangerous for
Nemesis.
For the defenders, for Nemesis. And yeah, they want to push in.
Without any hesitation.
What? How did that mechanic push in there? Suicidal destruction on the stack of Nemesis Armada.
Wow.
Eliminating that whole group there where that demonic fire was casted. Oh my goodness. And how did he just quickly pass by?
I'm not sure with the traps, but seems the traps are not, doing its job.
Yeah, but that's your favorite skill though.
Okay, I'm gonna change it now. Gonna change it to vacuum.
I thought ankle snares were your
I'm not sure.
was your skill bias.
Yeah, I'm not sure
That
because
was your
some
skill bias though. Oh my
Because
goodness.
earlier we saw like multiple ankle snares getting stacked there on that area, but
Uh-huh.
for some reason that mechanic just went in and
Yeah.
you know
Well played.
yeah I'm
Well
just
played from that mechanic of Dominari. Single-handedly eliminated that whole stack there of or whole group there of Nemesis Armada. Right now, Dominari um a little bit a quarterly serious about their push against Nemesis Armada right here. Not their full group. Maybe most of the members just wants to deal with the Nemesis Armada right here or wants to try their luck. But of course, that classical luck will play a huge role
mm-hmm.
into defending this castle.
But again, Dominari needs to be careful on the defense of Nemesis. They
Mm-hmm.
still have the firepower and they can still wipe couple of Dominaries. But I think right now Dominari is doing. I think they're just trying to
Okay.
regroup and just they're trying to go all in for this push. They don't want to
Yeah.
lose any more members, which is very good. And they are
Yeah.
casting their battle chants now, preparing for the push. And yeah,
And yeah, they are getting really serious into pushing Nemesis Armada out of this castle. And right now they are preparing not their full number though, or not a lot of them here compared to how they fought with other guilds. But yeah, I think the whole squad or the whole guild of Dominaris
yeah.
here right now, since most of the members are just regrouped from the back. So they are preparing to push in on Nemesis Armada again. If that mechanic just walked by and cast that suicidal destruction, I'm not sure if Nemesis Armada will be able to deal with the numbers of Dominari right now. And they are getting ready for push. Mental strength casted by that Sura. Of
Here we go.
course, that Runite went in
Dragon's Breath.
again! Again!
Wow,
Again! They
Reynard.
didn't actually! They didn't actually trap the Rune Knight. He just went in and casted that Dragon's Breath,
And I almost died there.
eliminating everyone from the back line. I'm not sure what happened.
I almost died there as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he just passed or how he just walked by. Maybe he has that Guya.
Yeah,
That's why he's really
definitely there's
quick.
gonna be a Guya crush coming from that
Mm-hmm.
Rune Knight. And I think that guy is I think he knows where to land his Dragon Breath immediately and he knows where to push or where to
Mm-hmm.
do a quick maneuver on that tight spot.
Yeah,
So
actually, he
yeah.
pushed out. That one cell
Yeah.
after that classical block. He stood there, casted that dragon's breath, and eliminated everyone from the back line of Nemesis Armada. Maybe because Nemesis Armada doesn't have a shadow chaser to cast manholes.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have vacuums.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he just pushed in that quickly and eliminated the whole stack. Maybe
Yes.
that's what happened earlier with that mechanic.
Yes. Again, most of the damage of Nemesis is concentrated on one area. So if you
Mm-hmm.
manage to pass that area, I think you can actually do a quick free hit to the back lane immediately. Yeah. So I think that's what the Rune Knight did there. He just passed that classical block and the AoEs and quick white pots or maybe buns, Guyak, then hit the backplate immediately and wipe the
Yeah,
entire squad of Nemesis.
actually, it's pretty similar to how the mechanic did it. They just pushed in. Maybe because they don't have, well, like what I mentioned earlier, vacuums or shadow chasers to disable or maybe delay the
Mm-hmm.
push coming from the opposing players. But yeah, well played from Dominari. That Rune Knight caused a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
But still good
Anyway,
effort. Still good effort
yeah,
on
good
Nemesis.
effort
Good
coming from
effort still.
Nemesis Armada though. They tried their best in the defense. Again, when they defended against Opus Day earlier, they were quick into regrouping. They flag warped together so that they can appear all at once
Mm-hmm.
there at the same spot to to defend their castle. But right now, we are going to see Last Nightmare regroup and maybe push in on Arsenal defending the same spot. Of course, they are doing a really good job with defending this spot. They've been defending this castle really, really well. Every time they defend this spot, after they defend this entrance, they push back to the third portal if the other guild is going to go for a second push. And when they notice that most of the members of the opposing guild is not there yet, they actually push out. They push out and eliminate the members of the opposing guild. But you can see that Genetic actually went behind that wall and casted that Mandragora Howling, and caused a lot of mayhem here for Last Nightmare. Reduced casting, or will make your casting time a lot longer. That's why even that improved concentration casted for like 4 seconds or 3 seconds right
Yeah.
there. And yes, Last Nightmare getting ready for that push. Arrow Storm going out. Mandragora Howling got casted on Last Nightmare earlier. They have that sacrifice, what they call this? Sacrifice Royal Guard.
Yep.
To have that defending aura to reduce the long range damage. But Last Nightmare,
They need to be careful in this
not
one.
a chance. Not a chance from Last Nightmare to
Last
actually
Nightmare is
push
charging in now.
But rather that's Arsenal
Oh,
actually
Arsenal.
pushing in on Last Nightmare. But Last Nightmare actually fell back
Ooh.
here and regrouped in a different spot. They actually waited for Arsenal to push out. And they had the plan
Wow.
all along. They had a plan all along.
They're just
I
trying
thought
to
it was
bait
all over.
Arsenal.
Oh my goodness, what a good strategy coming from Last Nightmare. They actually baited Arsenal into pushing in. Or
Yeah.
trying to push them out.
Yeah, and I think Last Nightmare is ready to flank in those two players coming from Last Nightmare, flank in at the middle of Arsenal, taking the back lane of Arsenal immediately. They know for a fact that their Arsenal is going to be busy on trying to wipe the entire forces of Last Nightmare there. But again, they didn't anticipate the Rune Knight, the arcade, maybe that's our arcade, right? At the back lane, taking off the support system or the support of Arsenal on that clash.
Yes. And I like how Arsenal is utilizing the map really well. They use that genetic behind that wall to cast that Mandragora Howling. And Mandragora Howling will affect everyone on your screen.
Yes.
So yeah, when he casted that Mandragora Howling, a lot of members of Last Nightmare got long casting times because of that. And Arsenal actually took the opportunity to eliminate a lot of players from Last Nightmare at that time. But Curse Circle coming from Last
Whoa!
Nightmare once again! You can see that quick body relocation and Curse Circle just disabling everyone from Arsenal right there. And
But they're still
Arsenal
fighting.
actually still alive and defending this castle. But Last Nightmare quick in pushing in on this castle. Arsenal still alive.
They have
And,
a mechanic. They have a mechanic
they are
ready.
all scattered. Curse Circle once again. coming from
Arsenal
Last
preparing
Nightmare.
for a mechanic.
Arsenal
Here we go.
and Last Nightmare just trying to push in on Arsenal right now. Arsenal falling back, and you can see that Sura chasing them down, trying to disable them. Ruak, will that Curse Circle hit? They want to enter this castle. Portal defense, no deep. Oh, there's a
They're ready.
defense
They're
already
ready
set
now.
up for Arsenal right now. Last Nightmare is going to be in trouble here if they actually push in one by one. And here comes
They need to
AoE
put some
damage
ground
coming from
control here.
Arsenal. Look at that control coming from Arsenal right here. The quick regroups, and Last Nightmare
Here we go.
is trying to survive.
They need to be careful.
The defense of Arsenal will fall back, and Arsenal will live another day into defending this castle.
Wow. Good regroup. They're coming from Arsenal. They managed to anticipate that Last Nightmare is gonna push on a quick rush here, and they managed to put a quick setup there on the Emperium.
Oh, and Arsenal just push out.
Yeah.
They actually
They
took
need to push out in this one, yeah. They need to push out
They
to
took advantage of the
reestablish.
situation though. The Last Nightmare, majority of their members got wiped out. So that's why they pushed out. Maybe they're gonna regroup again on the same spot here. So they have 3 defenses all set up. Again, their defense here in the choke point. Second defense, if the other guild doesn't push this portal, or doesn't enter this portal, they will defend the second portal. But again, Dominari Purple
Here we
is
go.
going to attack Arsenal before they actually regroup in this spot. Arsenal is going to fall back. Dominari Purple is going to push in. You can see that Mandragora Howling coming from that genetic. Acid Bomb will
Booyah.
finish off that Ranger as well. Curse Circle, Dominari quickly pushing in right now. They still have that mechanic. Maybe that mechanic will wait for the opportunity to use that Suicidal Destruction though. Dragon's Breath still getting casted on Arsenal right here.
They have
This
the
is
Land
going to be
Protector
dangerous
now.
for Arsenal. Arsenal
They need
doesn't
to
have a
run
lot
here.
of members right here. They need to use that Flag Warp really quickly. And Dominari
They
just
have
taking
enough
a
numbers
hold
here.
of Arsenal right now.
They can still
And
sustain.
Arsenal, dangerous.
They have the
This
genetic
is going
ready.
to be really dangerous for Arsenal. They will push back.
Suicidal
to the
Destruction?
Emperium.
Oh.
And Suicidal Destruction, no, will not land right there. And Dominari is still alive and kicking here in this castle. Arsenal will fall back into the Emperium. I'm
They
not
need to
sure
run
if
now.
they
They
can
need to
still
run.
defend this. They will defend that Emperium room. This is going to be the first time seeing a defense here. No, no defense of Arsenal here in the Emperium room of Kremhild. And this is good as gone. I think Dominari has a hold of this castle right now. Arsenal will not have a chance to regroup since their flag warp already got occupied by Dominari.
Yes, and good effort from Arsenal from back-to-back fight coming from their defense, and they actually got tested their offense and defense on that one. From last nightmare push to Dominari, purple plus red. So that's actually a
my
good
goodness.
one.
Yes, actually, Purple Dominari, they noticed that Arsenal was just regrouping earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They took advantage of that and pushed before Arsenal regrouped. That's why Arsenal was all scattered up. They were all startled. They don't have time to set up their defense. Again, most of their members are at the entrance map or at the entrance portal. Then Dominari pushed the second portal. Most of their members are retreating, but that Sura tried to chase them down. Use that cursed circle to disable the members of Arsenal from going back to that third portal defense. That's why they're in the third portal defense of Arsenal. Most of the members of Arsenal were not there because
Yes.
there was already a Rune Knight causing mayhem or causing damage against the players of Arsenal regrouping there at the third portal. And
Yes.
really, really good push coming from the Purple Dominari right there. And that
Yes.
support, actually, there was a Red Dominari to
Yes.
support Purple Dominari
I think
earlier.
most of the red Dominaries are the damage dealers that they're getting from.
And what guild is this?
This is nonsense.
Oh, nonsense. Okay. So, Arsenal wants to deal with nonsense right now.
Yep.
And actually, nonsense is just trying to hold this portal. Arsenal quickly pushing in. You can
Okay, that's
see
good.
those Dragon's Breath and Suicidal Destruction getting casted.
Ooh.
Oh, oh my goodness! Again, that Suicidal Destruction.
Connecting to several players there.
But yeah, that's not enough to stop Arsenal from pushing in this castle. But perfectly landed. That mechanic of nonsense perfectly landed that Suicidal Destruction, eliminating a lot of members of Arsenal. But then again, Arsenal quick into regrouping. I'm pretty sure they are keen into occupying this castle to take down nonsense.
Yes. And James, at the same time, from time to time, I'm seeing a good improvement from Arsenal. From their offense to defense, we are seeing massive adjustments. And they are actually the first guild who managed to counter the mechanic earlier of Dominari from exploding. We've seen two mechanic trying to do a quick self-destruct there, but Arsenal was very quick on recognizing that Dominari is gonna do that. And at the same time, there are the regroup coming from this guild is getting improved every session that we have for War of Imperium. So I'm really enjoying watching Arsenal from time to time, seeing them
Yeah.
on fights as well.
Actually, they are a really
They're really
they are a
improved
rising
a
guild.
lot.
They
Yeah.
are a rising guild, rather. They are a rising guild. What did I just say? A rising good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm getting lost in my own words. Anyway, Nice push coming from Arsenal earlier, and that suicidal destruction comes from nonsense. Did a lot of damage against Arsenal,
Mhm.
eliminated several players from Arsenal, but again, that's just the entrance of that castle. Arsenal can quickly regroup, especially if they have those warpers ready in their safe spot. And they can just quickly go in and regroup to take this castle.
And I think if there's gonna be like um like a tournament or maybe like a guild versus guild, I think Arsenal is gonna be one of those guilds that I'm gonna watch, right, for equal or an even number GVG, because again
Mhm.
they've improved so much since our last session. And in every session that we're having in War of Imperium, they've been showing us that this is the new style that we're gonna bring in the table. This is the new improved regroup that we have. This is the new improved counter dispel to the Mado strategy of Dominari and so on. They've been adjusting a lot lately, and those adjustments worked a lot for them as well, giving them
Yes.
a massive win rate against I would say Purple Dominari, DS Cartel as well. And we
Mhm.
saw earlier Arsenal versus Last Nightmare. They did good, and they did good on that defense and offense as well. So yeah,
Yes,
Arsenal.
massive improvement coming
Yeah,
from Arsenal. But yeah, as we are at the last 20-minute mark of our War of Imperium session, we are actually seeing goons for the first time right here in Swanhild Castle. So I think they are just going to defend this castle. Since this is the last 20 minutes, most of the time Dominari is um, splitting up into several parties to push or to occupy several castles at the end of
yes. I
every
think
session.
they're starting to plant now multiple parties on castles as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, they're always prepared to deal with they're always successful into capturing multiple castles at the end of every session.
Yes.
And yes, we are seeing DS Cartel attack a few members of Goons right here. Maybe Goons has a defense setup in this castle. I'm not really sure. Maybe we can check out as we follow DS Cartel right here. Some Guardians got summoned
I
or got
think
spawned here by
yes.
Goons.
And I think DS Cartel is doing the same thing, or the rest of the guilds. I think they're trying to split push on multiple castles. Again, they just want to get the maximum economy that they can get from getting a guild or getting a Imperium on their
Yes.
belt right now.
Okay. All right. So since we are just watching this cartel and maybe try and battle it out with goons right now, so no defense right here for goons. This cartel just trying to push in together. So yeah, while that is happening, I do want to talk about the events actually
Hmm.
currently going on in game as well. We have the Heroes Trail Part One. Of course, the crack in the dimension left by Satan
Oh,
Warp when he ran away allowed Goon Midgard to discover the new world. Now, scientists have discovered a new way to exploit its power. What is it?
time travel.
OMG, time traveling.
Here we
by
go.
using their by using their new device, you can join them in the spatial rift. From there, you can still reach a new world, but you can also explore past times. And again, that's just Heroes Trail Part 1. Part 2 and 3 actually will be available on the next
Ooh.
update. And
That's
it's
gonna be on the
already
next patch, right?
included. It's already included in the patch notes in Discord. So yeah, to get earlier updates, of course, join the ROGGH
GGH
Discord.
Discord.
You can also visit our website r.genjoy.asia to actually read
Read.
about the events. And
Yes.
Goose has a defense setup right here, MG.
And they got crushed by
Not much defense coming from Goons. They just tried
they
their
have
luck
a heavy
maybe.
stack earlier
Maybe
on the
maybe
Imperiums.
maybe they're not really prepared for this push coming from DS Cartel and Arsenal. Anyway, no one else is actually pushing in.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if Goons decides to defend this castle, maybe they will have a chance to perfectly defend this.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, we are not seeing a lot of goons members actually regrouping here in this castle. So maybe they are going to spread out. Maybe try to spot different castles that aren't occupied
Mm-hmm.
that they can, secure
But
later. But
again,
goons, actually,
goons.
no. I take that back.
Oh,
I take that back. They're going to try and defend this.
okay. So currently, a mechanic versus two DS Cartel.
Hmm.
So let's go and check.
Okay, that mechanic still alive though. Pinpoint attack, of course, that storm
They need
does,
to
and
split up on
Goons
this
is
one.
now here. You can see that Royal Guard from the DS Cartel still alive, and look at that Overbrand. Attacking a lot of members here from Goons, and they are getting
Ooh.
eliminated one by one. That Royal Guard will go down because of that Guillotine Fist, and that Rune Knight won't survive any longer. A quick regroup to defense here coming from Goons to eliminate the roaming members here in the Emperium game. But
Yes.
again, the Emperium already got damaged. I'm not sure if this is still a castle that you should defend.
Yes.
Because again, you can what
Woo.
that cross impact and Gates of Hell landed at the same time.
Yeah. But again, I think the best thing that you can do for this instance is to put multiple scouts ahead of your castle. Like one scout at the entrance and one scout on the second level to for you guys to just to predict or to react properly if the
Mm.
enemy is gonna to clash
Yeah,
in or join
earlier
in.
they have scouts though at the entrance, but only at the entrance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, while Goons is actually setting up right here, let's take a look at the different castles. And while you are doing that, actually, I do want to mention that we still have that Singapore and Malaysia National Day event. This is to celebrate the Singapore's 57th National Day, which happened last Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and Malaysia's 63rd National Day. You can help Abang Matt and get daily rewards like EXP, consumables, event limited costumes, enchant stone boxes, and save to 7 refined tickets. This event started on August 4 and will end on September 1. There
Mm-hmm.
is also our Help King Poring event because King Poring needs your help. Speak to him in Frontera to find out what he needs. You will be sent on a daily mission to hunt golden porings. Make sure you collect its drops. Trade in the items dropped in exchange for consumables or a costume pouring bag. This event has been extended only until the 18th of August. So after this maintenance on Thursday, this event will be gone.
Yes.
All right. The event will be gone. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take this opportunity actually to read out all the ongoing events.
Yeah.
Since this is the last 14 minutes of War of Imperium, most of the guilds are going to split up, scatter around to spot different castles. I'm not sure if we're going to spot a GVG battle coming from these guilds right now. Since these guilds want to occupy multiple castles at the same time. Uh, yeah, and Fratres actually, has a lot of defense here in Fatgib Castle.
Yeah, I like
So
the
nice
setup of
defense
the
here.
I
The
like the
neutral,
setup, yeah, the
the
classical
classical
pop, yeah.
puck. Yeah.
You sit on the
I think
second
it's pretty
floor.
nice though.
Yeah.
But they don't have that safety wall up or that Numa up to actually make that minstrel survive or that ensemble survive. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they will cast that Numa later on to
Yeah.
make that ensemble survive. But yeah, again, with the events and the updates, there was a Malangdo costume update that happened last August 4.
Mm-hmm.
You can check out 5 new Malangdo costumes. That's costume CD Mouth, costume Hair of Strong Red, costume Blue Headdress, costume Blinking Eyes, and costume Butterfly Wing Ears. You can also get that Enchanted Stone Box Volume 7 by trading in these new costumes to designer Haidan and Malangdo, and you can receive that enchant stone box in which you can get enchant stones to enchant your costumes for
Mm-hmm.
additional stats and bonuses. All right.
The enchantments.
Enchantments. And Michelle right here said earlier that I agree with MG on Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal, like what MG mentioned earlier, really a huge improvement coming from them.
Yep. Maybe they're just trying to hide their gameplay on the first phase of the War of Imperium session.
Oh, Fratres trying to
Ooh,
secure this Imperium, this castle. But I think that Sura and Genetic will try their luck and they will be the ones trying to break this Imperium.
manually.
Be- Better luck next time, Guillotine Crofts of Fratres. We are going to occupy this castle for ourselves. Okay. And while they are doing that, uh, yeah, I want to mention
Hmm.
that there is going to be an upcoming
Ooh,
SG or Singapore community event. And the
yeah.
event will happen on August 27. You can RSVP your interest by August 14. So that's by tomorrow. You can come meet our CM Miko and fellow players. You can stay tuned for more updates coming up. Of course, in the Discord and in our Facebook page. So make sure to like and follow our Facebook page and join the ROGGH Discord.
Yeah.
All right. We're talking about a lot of promos here.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a surprise,
Yeah.
a lot of surprises that's gonna happen.
Well,
I
there
think.
in the most of the time, our ROGGH has been giving exclusive things to those who attend community events. So if you do want to have some exclusive things or get
Exclusive,
exclusive stuff, you can join the community
exclusive.
events.
Yeah,
All right, exclusive because
we're wearing it right
the
now.
the attendees the attendees know it firsthand before everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, ooh. Wait. What's that? What's that again?
What?
The
They know it firsthand before everyone else. All right.
okay, okay. So maybe
Okay.
there's a surprise
Yeah,
there.
and yeah, there might be exclusive stuff to be given away. So make sure to attend the community event.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can RSVP your interest by tomorrow
Are you,
or
are,
until tomorrow.
are you gonna go, James? Or
Uh, maybe.
maybe?
Maybe.
Hmm.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see. Let's see.
Okay, all right. So while that is, or while MG is trying to scout around, again we have codes at the lower right portion of the screen. So make sure to check it out. You can redeem that code by logging into our website r.genjoy.asia, then log in your account, then click on membership, then click on redeem code. Make sure to guess that number that's replaced by a question mark inputted here at the lower right portion of the screen. So make sure
Mm-hmm.
that to change that number into 0 to 9, and maybe the first one to guess that code, the correct code, will be able to redeem the prizes.
Yes.
All right. And yeah, of course, guilds are trying to occupy the castles right now since we only have a few minutes left in
Mm-hmm.
our current session. And while they are doing that, of course, to help our players currently, or our new players who are about to create a new character in ROGGH, there's a new permanent feature, of course, here in Ragnarok Online GGH. That is the level up box, because upon creating a new character, a new item, new user box will automatically appear in your inventory. Opening the box will grant you various consumables and equipment. For every 10 levels achieved until level 90, you can open a new box and receive more items. To find out more about this feature, you can also visit our website and join the ROGGH Discord.
Mm-hmm.
All
I think
right.
I'm gonna use that.
So yeah, most of the guilds now are just selling down. You can use the level of blocks for the gunslinger. Most of the actually most a lot of players or a lot of people are waiting for you to have that gunslinger level up stream. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
join MG partake in that adventure though.
Actually, a lot of
So
people are sending me message about that for some reason.
they're waiting for you to make an account, or maybe rather make a character to level up. You can actually do that.
Hmm. Let's see.
Yeah, well, they're
Yeah,
waiting for
maybe
that
this week. Maybe this week.
the
Yeah,
gunslinger stream.
this coming
And
week.
after when you get to level 99 and maybe uh get all of your Eden items out, or the basic only the basic items, only basic items are allowed, either level up box or the Eden items. You can maybe go for that PvP with other
Yeah,
gunslingers.
maybe I'm gonna like do a PvP session with like level 99 characters. To be fair,
Mm.
that's
Well,
gonna be
but you're pushing
interesting.
for a gunslinger stream though.
Yeah, yeah. Let's have that like level 99 PvP session. Plus, you can bring your friend with you.
Yeah, but
Then I'll.
first, MG, before we actually talk about that,
Yeah.
that gunslinger stream first.
Yeah. Maybe this week. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna do that this week.
Oh, ooh, this week.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
And yeah.
for everyone waiting for that though, MG already. But he said maybe, so
And shout out
still maybe.
to Shishi26 from Nemesis Armada. Yeah. Hello, hello.
All right.
But if you're going to have that PvP, I'm gonna bring like 5 royal guards with me. So
Oh no,
they're gonna sacrifice their lives for me.
but you have an advantage because they have defending aura though.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, actually, MG, most of the guilds are just settling down.
Yeah.
It always happens at the every last 30 minutes of every session, but at the last or the in the 20 minute mark, there was still a battle ongoing. I think that was Opus Dei versus Nemesis Armada.
Oh yeah. Earlier.
I think that happened at the last 20-minute mark.
Mhm.
Or rather, that's Arsenal versus Dominari. But yeah, actually, most guilds are just going to try and secure castles, like what Dominari is doing,
Mhm.
securing multiple castles, splitting up their guild into several parties, um, occupying, securing different castles, and defending it with a single party, maybe a few members. DS Cartel trying their luck as well. Arsenal occupying different castles. Aftershock, actually, Nemesis Armada, Nonsense, and I want to see the other guilds though, like what call this, Seraphim,
Seraphim, yeah.
Goons. I think is defending a castle, um, as well as Last Nightmare. All right, I think they're defending their own castles right now.
Yes. And again, in the end of the day, you need to get those, economy up and running for your guild, because you're gonna use that economy on the next War of Imperium. So basically, every last few minutes on our clock for our session, guilds are trying to plant most of their parties on specific castles just to get the item loots from that castle, and most of them are trying to avoid those fights, unnecessary fights, for that
Yeah.
last minute push.
Yeah, you don't want to consume more consumables at this point.
Yeah.
Since 3 minutes, um, unless there is an event, I think this is not a wise call to, consume more potions for the last few minutes of War of Imperium. I think I know most guilds are aware of that. That's why they're just trying their best to secure their own castles
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, since everyone's just settling down, MG, we still have one more thing to talk about, and that's our Razor Gold August. So
Yeah, Razor Gold.
yeah, MG, do you want to kindly explain to our viewers what
Yeah, actually
Razor
this-
Gold August is?
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite promotions that we have here currently for our Razor buff, right? So for our Razor Gold, guys, just want to give you a heads up that from August 1, 2022 to August 31, 2022, Recharge your GEnjoy account via Razer Gold Wallet and get in-game items such as Mystic Powders, Tears Blessing, unlimited Fly Wing Box for 2 hours, unlimited Almighty, Infinity Drink, Power Booster, Guaranteed Armor 5, and Costume Eleanor Wig for free. For August promotion, you will get the following. Okay. And again, for tier 1 guys, if you're gonna tap up for every 2000 KP with Razer Gold Wallet, you can actually score Mystic Powder, 5 Tears Blessing, times 2 Wing of Fly, yeah, sorry, for 2 hours. Tier
The
2,
correction though, that's not for every 2000 KP. That's
for
the accumulated.
accumulated, yes.
If you accumulate
If you
total of
accumulate,
2000
yes,
KP.
2,000, 10,000. For the 10,000, you can actually 10 pieces of Almighty, 10 pieces of Infinity Drink, 10 pieces of Power Booster, guaranteed armor plus 5 up. And for the tier 3, 30,000 consumable KP, or total of top up of 30,000 Razer Gold Wallet within. Oh yes, you will be getting Eleanor Wig. And make sure to recharge here at www.genjoy.asia/top up. And yeah, and that's it. And for more information about the promotion, you can actually visit our website ro.genjoy.asia or the ROGGH Discord. So you can find the links in
Yes.
the description.
Yes,
Ooh.
and I really like the tier 3 reward.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's one of my favorite headgears, the costume Eleanor wig.
Mhm.
It's technically a wig, but you look great. you you will look great.
Wait,
Okay? You will look-
is that the
It's
no,
color
no,
white.
no, no.
It's color white. It's quite a long wig, but you look. How can I explain this? Because it's to each their own, right? To each their own. But I kind of like that costume,
Yeah.
and I think most players like that costume as well.
I think
And
yeah.
actually, War of Imperium just ended, and I think a lot of guilds just tried to settle down with their own castles.
Mhm.
Fratres has three castles rather. No, two castles, two castles. So there was a last minute break coming from Fratres.
Arsenal, Fratres.
Yeah, a castle by DS Cartel, Opus Dei, Dominari, Nonsense, Nemesis Armada, Last Nightmare, and
I think
Runes,
Opus
actually.
didn't get any castle.
They have one. They have one. I think Eor Brigar. So they got Eor Brigar Castle. So congratulations, actually.
Everyone got a
Congratulations
castle.
to everyone who's
Yeah.
managed to secure a castle for tonight's session.
Mhm.
And yeah, what are your thoughts about the current session?
Yeah, for me, the highlight for this session is the Arsenal versus Dominari. I think that's the highlight for me for today. It's very rare that we saw a guild manage to counter the Mado push of Dominari and manage to counter and dispel it, or to hold the Mado push. So they managed to win those good fights, but again, Dominari on the second round is really, tough to handle. And the same time from DS Cartel as well. It's really nice that they've been on the fight scene as well. They've been winning left and right fights, and I hope that they can actually carry this momentum on the next session of War of Imperium. Same goes with Arsenal. Again, Arsenal, from the past sessions, they are the most improved guild that we saw in the War of Imperium scene, and hopefully that they can actually get more players to go on their numbers and get those items up and running for them to face a bigger challenge for their War of Imperium scene.
Yes,
Yep.
Arsenal is just getting bigger and bigger and getting stronger in every War of Imperium session.
Yes.
They can actually try and go to toe with Red Dominary now.
Yeah.
They almost actually wiped out Red Dominary.
Yes.
But again, the numbers of Dominary is no joke, and their coordination, they are really well coordinated. I gotta give props to their commander. They're really doing well in leading your whole guild into battle.
Yes.
All right, but yeah, still my highlight for this Warfare Imperium session is still going to be, suicidal destructions, curse circles, landing against a lot of players.
I think that's last night or earlier. They've been aggressive on that first circle or
Mm-hmm.
Dominati.
That's Last
Last
Nightmare.
nightmare.
Dominari has the what do you call this? Suicidal destruction.
Yeah.
They don't rely much on curse circles, but they do have some. They do have a curse circle. They do have suras to use that curse circle, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't rely on that too much. They usually mostly use it to push with a mechanic with a suicidal destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So after that curse circle, suicidal destruction comes in. If that suicidal destruction can go in and eliminate members, the backline players will
Yeah.
do the job. And yeah, Dominar is still a strong guild, and I can see other guilds stepping up to the game right now. And I'm happy to see a lot of players just trying to improve, and a lot of players, guilds trying to
Mm-hmm.
improve in every session.
I agree.
But yeah, most improved, I can say that is Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Definitely Arsenal. And I'm excited to see them actually in the next session because MG, you
Mm.
said they've been improving um, in each successive War of Imperium
Mm-hmm.
session. And we've
Yes.
been seeing that every stream.
Yes.
And that's why I'm pretty excited on their performance or their how they strategize and how they um, deal against other guilds
Mm-hmm.
in the next War of Imperium session.
Yes.
Right?
And I agree on that. And at the same time, the Cartel, I'm happy to see that they've been winning a couple of fights tonight. And I want to see them again on our next session. And hopefully they can make some adjustment if the current lineup is not working for their entire roster. Maybe they can actually revert it back to the old Sura type aggressive strat that they had. Maybe that could actually help to bring back that aggressive DS Cartel that we saw on the first session that they had on the War of Imperium. So yeah.
Yes. All right. And shout outs to everyone in the chat. Gigi said Michael. Said Michelle. GS, let's play. All right. Okay.
Ah.
So just wait for MG to announce his Gunslinger stream. And yeah. Again, War of Imperium is every Saturday and Tuesday, 9 to 11 p.m. GMT plus 8. And MG, that's going to be it for tonight's session.
Mhm.
Hopefully, you all enjoyed that. Once again, we are your casters. My name is James,
Hey, my name is MG.
and we'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.